Hi everyone, welcome to another video on my channel. So today we're going to be watching the top 10 apps that are banned. So yeah, let's just get into this video straight away. Here is the channel. And yeah.
App for iPhone. Some of you may remember this one. Back when the iOS App Store was first launched, a developer created this useless app that costed $999.99, the maximum price possible. And it literally did nothing except showed some text that said, "I am rich, I deserve it, I am good, healthy, and successful." You would think that for $1,000 it wouldn't have any spelling mistakes, but apparently they couldn't manage that. Then, just one day after its release, Apple removed the app from the store. Apparently 8 people bought the app, and Apple refunded 2 of the purchases because they were apparently accidental. Up next, this one was more recent, and it was an app called hkmap.live, which was created to track locations of police during the Hong Kong protests that started in 2019.
Oh my
Initially,
God.
Apple rejected the app from being allowed onto the App Store because it, quote, facilitates, enables, or encourages an activity that is not legal. However, a couple weeks later, Apple reversed its decision and did allow it onto the App Store, but about a week later, after criticism from Chinese state-owned news outlets, Apple once again removed the app, stating it was apparently being used to target police. In any case, though, the app was not removed from the Google Play Store, and there was still a version accessible through a web browser. Okay, number 3, we have an app called Talk On Radiation Detector. The name of this app is a bit deceptive because it doesn't detect anything. Its purpose was to calculate the estimated amount of electromagnetic radiation, meaning radio waves, being emitted from your phone based on cell signal. It was rejected from the iOS App Store, and notably, when the developer emailed Steve Jobs to pitch the idea, Steve himself replied, "No interest." And it's understandable to me personally. People think radiation and assume it's all dangerous like X-rays and gamma rays without realizing literally all light and harmless radio waves are also radiation. So having an app that said people were exposed to radiation would probably scare too many people. So it's pretty understandable why they rejected it, in my opinion. Alright, on to number 4, the WikiLeaks app. You've probably heard about WikiLeaks, and back in 2010, they created an app that was eventually removed from the App Store by Apple. The stated reason was, "We removed the WikiLeaks app from the App Store because it violated our development guidelines. Apps must comply with all local laws and may not put an individual or targeted groups in harm's way." I guess they figured some of the info WikiLeaks leaked could be harmful. The thing is, the app was nothing special. It literally just showed the WikiLeaks Twitter page and website with nothing especially unique about the app itself. Okay, number 5. You guys know Eminem, right? Well, around the time of the release of his album Relapse in May 2009, as part of the marketing, he apparently created an app based around the song 3 AM in which he basically goes on a violent rampage. And I could only find a single supposed screenshot of the app where it looks like he's fighting zombies or something. Anyway, the app apparently was removed from the iOS App Store pretty quickly for being too violent at the time, and I don't believe it was ever even attempted to be released on Android. Alright, number 6 isn't just one app, but an entire category of apps that's been banned by Apple, which are vaping apps. In November 2019, Apple removed 181 vaping-related apps from its App Store and has banned them going forward. According to the New York Times, the prohibition affects apps that helps people find vape stores or flavors, allows them to control their vape pens, or gain access to games, news, or social networks that promote vaping. So pretty much anything related to it at all. It was controversial because vaping itself isn't illegal, but at the time, there was a huge concern and awareness around illnesses caused by a certain ingredient used in some vapes. On to number 7, we have an app that has gone by a few names, including Drones Plus and Metadata Plus, the purpose of which was to track drone strike missions carried out by the US military. The developer initially created the app in 2012, and between then and 2014 was apparently rejected from Apple's App Store 5 times when it was finally accepted. However, after about a year, Apple then removed it from the store, and in another twist, in 2017, after several more rejections, it was accepted again under the name Metadata. But then, a short while later, it was removed yet again, apparently for good. Okay, we're up to number 8, so we got a few more. And this time we have an actually really popular indie game, The Binding of Isaac. You may have heard of it or even played it. After its successful release in 2011, the developers began working on an expanded second version of the game, which was released in 2014 on more platforms, called The Binding of Isaac Rebirth. But when it was submitted to the iOS App Store, it was rejected by Apple. The developer tweeted a screenshot of the reason
I've never heard.
where it says, "Your app contains content or features that depicts violence and abuse, which is not allowed on the App Store." Now, if you're not familiar with the game, it's basically a cartoon horror-themed game, but it's not scary. And you play as a child named Isaac who has to fight through all sorts of grotesque monsters. It's pretty graphic, I guess, but it's all 2D graphics and super cartoony at the same time. However, about a year later, Apple did eventually allow the game onto the App Store after all. But it doesn't end there, because apparently at least one more time in 2018, it was removed again for unknown reasons and was restored. But strangely enough, as of right now, it appears to be off the App Store yet again, with some speculating that this time it could be because the developer failed to pay some fee because all of their apps were delisted, but who knows. This next one might be surprising. You know that super wildly popular game Fortnite, right? Yes, believe it or not, it is not available on the Google Play Store. The reason is Epic Games, the creator, was not happy with Google's Play Store's 30% cut of sales of apps, including in-app purchases. So Epic Games wanted a better rate, but Google refused to budge. So instead, if you want to play Fortnite on Android, you have to actually sideload the app and install it without the Play Store. It's not difficult to do, but it does require some extra steps, and you have to download the app from the Fortnite official website directly. Okay, finally, number 10, we have the Amazon App Store for Android. Yeah, did you know that there was an Amazon App Store? It's basically like the Google Play Store, but run by Amazon, and for obvious reasons, you can't install it through the Google Play Store. Firstly, because Google isn't going to just let a competing app store on their own store, and second, they wouldn't want to be responsible for all the apps that the Amazon App Store might allow you to install on the device. So similar to Fortnite, if you want to use the Amazon App Store, you have to sideload it and enable some permissions that allows it to install apps, and then you can use it just like you would the Play Store. And you can actually install apps using both. And if you were curious, unlike Android, iOS is way more locked down in this regard, and it's impossible to install any alternative app stores like you can on Android unless you jailbreak your iPhone. So, there you have it. Let me know in the comments which of these apps you've heard of, and if there's any big ones that I missed. I want to again give a big thanks to...
So that's the end of the video. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, you know what to do. Subscribe, like, etc. Yeah, so go check out Theo Joe as well. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video.